Did you know that the fish products that you see packaged in your supermarket are most likely to have come from fish farms like this one? These facilities are basically floating factory farms where fish often spend their brief lives confined in cramped, dirty, and lice-ridden pens, waiting to be sucked up onto boats for slaughter or transport to land. Few people are aware of what life is like for fish in these farms. Fewer people still know how these sensitive animals are treated at the time of slaughter. This is intentional. In 2021, we released powerful investigative footage showing fish being thrown to the ground, beaten, and having their gills painfully cut while conscious in an on-land slaughterhouse. The facility is operated by a UK corporation formerly known as the Scottish Salmon Company, which supplies major US supermarkets. A year later, we captured evidence in the US of fish slowly suffocating after being left out of water, being beheaded while conscious and ground up alive inside an on-land catfish slaughterhouse in Mississippi. This facility supplies major US grocery stores and restaurants, like Kroger and Cracker Barrel. The investigation was featured on NBC News and shocked the public, who called for stronger protections for fish by the US government. Now we've gone one step further and filmed slaughter of a different kind. The industry often confines and kills fish at sea, returning to land with their flesh to be packaged. The public and authorities have little knowledge of what goes on in these slaughter boats. Even if you get near these boats, it is hard to tell whether rules are being broken. The slaughter process is often hidden. That's why we decided to pack our bags and head to Scotland. Using drones, Animal Equality has gained access to the secretive Scottish aquaculture industry, showing the life and death of farmed fish. Investigators filmed boats slaughtering salmon and trout at farms off the coast of Scotland. Our footage unveils a series of concerning incidents, including fish being violently thrown, fish killed while they are conscious and able to feel pain after the machine fails to stun them, smaller fish being left to suffocate in an empty bucket, visible overcrowding in nets and bloodied slaughterhouse machinery, and fish wounded and bleeding after being slammed in pipes transporting them from sea pens onto boats. The trout farm operated by Dawn Fresh Farming and the salmon farm operated by Loch Duart supply Los Angeles-based Strand Foods, which distributes what they claim as premium seafood products. Both farms are certified by a number of animal welfare and sustainability and quality accreditations. Despite these credentials, our footage shows that the experience of salmon and trout in these facilities is not as it may seem.
So I'm currently here in Campbelltown, and as you can see behind me, there are a couple of boats that we're currently keeping an eye on. We believe that these two boats are going to now go to the sea pen where the salmon are being kept, and I believe that they're likely going to slaughter the salmon on the boat.
On all the boats, the fish are sucked out of the water through a pump system. Some of the fish desperately try to fight the pull of the pump, but there is no escape. Fish have very sensitive bodies, much more prone to injury and pain than humans. Imagine how they must feel, their bodies being thrown against the metal tubing and against each other as they are pulled up through the machinery with great force. It is no surprise that blood pools at the exit of the pump system as many fish arrive on the boat battered and bloody. Once the fish make it onto the boat, they find themselves on a conveyor belt, which leads them into a machine that stuns them and then cuts their gills. However, we witnessed fish who were not stunned properly, meaning they may still be conscious and able to feel pain during slaughter. We also captured footage of workers violently throwing fish and animals who were deliberately left to suffocate. Fish instinctively stop moving when exposed to freezing temperatures, so experts say it is impossible to tell just how many may still be alive at the end of the cutting process. One of the machines in use is also only able to effectively stun and kill fish when they are of a similar size, but we witnessed fish both big and small making their way into the machine.
The aquaculture industry quite cleverly uses terminology to hide what they do. They say things like dispatched instead of slaughter, or percussive stunning instead of hitting the fish on the head. It means that many consumers aren't aware that in the UK, farmed fish face the very real prospect of gasping in their final moments of life, being bludgeoned to death, or being bled to death. All of this is very possible because there are currently no species-specific laws in place for farmed fish at the time of killing.
In the UK, we are calling on the government to make cameras inside fish slaughterhouses and on slaughter boats mandatory. And we are continuing our fight internationally to allow for greater public scrutiny of these facilities to ensure animal abuse no longer goes unpunished.
Fish are often the forgotten victims of factory farming. Scientists have proven that they feel pain and they feel joy, and yet the laws are lacking to protect them. We must do more to fight for the animals that are currently trapped in this cruel system.
Visit our Love Veg website and try some of the delicious alternatives to fish. Enjoy your food knowing that you are helping animals with each bite.